Hey guys, and welcome to the very first proper D&D video for this channel. I am ConMan or Connor, whichever you prefer, and today we're going to be discussing the brand new Unearthed Arcana. It dropped yesterday, and basically what it is the folk of the Feywild. So basically it's a load of, it's four, I think, Feywild like races that are obviously currently being tested, which is a good sign because that means we kind of just got the announcement of the Ravenloft stuff, so I guess is maybe they're going to be focusing on the Feywild from here. But anyway, let's look into it. Have a quick read of it. So the four races are Fairy, Hobgoblin of the Feywild, Elf folk, and Rabbit folk. So the first thing that's interesting about this is that the ability scores, there's no, like, so when a race, typically a race has ability scores, you know, +1 to intelligence, +2 to dex, or +2 to wisdom, +1 to strength, whatever. In this one though, they specifically say that that's not the case. You can determine your character's ability scores, determine how they're distributed. So it says you can increase either one score by 2 and a different one by 1, or you can increase 3 by 1. This is obviously following in line with what they did in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, in that you've got the custom lineage, and basically they're trying to get rid of this whole making certain races like specific to certain classes, essentially. And it's I'd say that's part of this whole new wave of content. Languages, creature type, nothing too interesting here, so we'll go straight down to Fairy. So I'll read it out for you. The Feywild is home to many fantastic peoples, including fairies. Fairies are wee folk, but not nearly as much so as their pixie and sprite friends. Okay, so they're bigger than pixies and sprites. Infused with the magic of the Feywild, fairies share a few commonalities with one another, but can differ widely in appearance, behavior, and attitude. Many fairies have special physical characteristics that sets them apart from other creatures of their kind. For your fairy, roll on the Fey characteristic table, or choose an option from it. The Feywild is a wild place, so come up with your own characteristic if none of these fit. And then we've got a small little table of 8 options. Small wings like those of an insect, shimmering multicolored skin, exceptionally large ears, constant glittering mist surrounds you. You have a small spectral horn on your forehead like a unicorn. Your hands never look dirty, you smell like fresh brownies, a noticeable harmless chill surrounds you. So that's kind of just fun little flavour, really, more than anything. Wouldn't change any of your in-game stuff. So we come down to the traits. So you're Fey, which is interesting that you're not humanoid. They don't do that very often with races. So you're actually not a humanoid, which means you actually avoid some of the spells that could potentially target you, which is actually really, really interesting. Your size is small, so like halflings and gnomes. Speed 30, that's fine. You get a flying speed. Okay, and you can hover. That's actually pretty good. And you don't need wings to do it. You can just do it. That's actually pretty good. Fairy magic. You know, Druidcraft and the Fairy Fire spells. You can cast Fairy Fire. Best ones to know once per day. And you rest before you can do it again. Spellcast. Oh, you can choose your spellcasting thing. So you can be Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma. That's good. That is very good. So you can kind of tailor to whichever class you're playing. So if you're a Druid, which kind of seems like they're good for, if you're a Druid, you can just choose Wisdom, or if you're a Wizard, Intelligence, or Sorcerer, Charisma. You know, that's actually really, really good. Fey Passage, you can squeeze through a space as narrow as 1 inch wide. I mean, it's useful in some situations, but I mean, like, why not just give them Fey Step, like the Misty Step, instead? But I suppose it might be a bit broken with them being able to fly as well. I mean, that's kind of cool, but I can't imagine it coming up in a lot of situations. This, the one I'm really interested in, is the Hobgoblin of the Feywild. So Hobgoblins trace their origins to the Feywild, where they first appeared with their goblin and bugbear kin. That history has left its mark for though Hobgoblins are found throughout the material plane, they continue to channel an aspect of the Feywild's rule to reciprocity, I can't pronounce that fucking word, which creates a mystical bond between the giver and the receiver of a gift. On some worlds, such bonds lead goblins to form communities with deep ties to each other. In the Forgotten Realms, vast hobgoblin legions have emerged with ranks upon ranks of devoted soldiers, noteworthy for how effective they are as a fighting unit. Hobgoblins are generally taller than their goblin cousins, but not quite as big as bugbears. They have curved, pointed ears and noses that turn red or blue during displays of emotion. Okay, so creature type, humanoid. That makes sense. You know, that's kind of the default, so nothing strange there. Medium and 30 feet speed, all fine. You get dark vision, which is always very good. Fey ancestry, which is really good as well. The elves have that. Fey gift, so this is obviously their new one. You can use this trait to take the help action as a bonus action, and you can do so a number of times equal to your proficiency modifier. You regain all uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, that's useful, because it means, you know, you're not like, you're kind of playing the supportive role, which is kind of very cool. It's, you know, you kind of immediately have that like very like very helpful, because it's a help action. Starting at 3rd level, you choose one of the options. Okay, when you take the help action, whether as a bonus action or an action. Hospitality, you and the target of your help action gain a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d6 plus proficiency power. That's cool. Passage, you and your target of your help action each increase your walking speeds for 10 feet to start your turn. That's good as well. Spite, until the start of your next turn, the first time you or the target of your help action hits a creature with an attack roll, that creature's disadvantage on the next roll. That's really good. That's really cool. I really like that. That Fey gift ability. That seems like it's very powerful. So it does. I actually really and truly like that. Fortune of the Many. If you miss an attack roll or fail an ability check or a saving throw, you can draw on your bonds of reciprocity. I can't pronounce it. To gain a bonus to a roll equal to the number of allies you can see within 30 feet of you to a maximum of +5. You can use this trait a number of times equal to proficiency bonus. And you're like, Jesus! They're so powerful. That is such a powerful race. Bone buzzed, I apologize. That is such a powerful race. So you get the help action thing, and you get the bonuses to any check, but they're not on the same, they're not part of the same like pool of resources. They're both their own resource. That is amazing. I want to play a hobgoblin. I want to make a hobgoblin. Jesus Christ, they're so good. Okay, moving on to the owl folk. Jesus Christ. Distant kin of giant elves, owl folk came in many shapes and sizes, from petite and fluffy to wide-winged and majestic. Elf folk have arms and legs like other humanoids, as well as wings that extend from their back and shoulders. Because of their ancestral tie to the Feywild, elf folk can innately see the magic of their surroundings. Like owls, elf folk are graced with feathers and that make no sound when they move or fly, making it easier for them to sneak up on you in the library. Your elf folk character might be nocturnal, or perhaps your character is simply prone to rise later, embodying the common nickname of night owl. Okay, so immediately I'm getting rogue vibes from this, but we'll see what they say. Humanoid, okay, once again, very normal. You are medium or small, you choose the size when you get it. That is really cool that they give you the option. I really like that. That they're giving this variety. They're making races way more like variety with them, not only with the ability scores, but now this introduction changing your size. Speed 30, you can see dark vision out to 90 feet. Okay, so that's different. That's very different. Magic sight. Your keen senses can focus. You can focus to see the presence of magic. You gain the ability to cast detect magic, but only as a ritual. Your spellcasting ability, you can choose it. You can also cast a spell normally with any spell slot you have. Okay, so you just get the ability to cast detect magic. That's cool. You get it for free. Nimble flight. Thanks to your wings, you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed, and when you fall, you can use your reaction to make a dexterity saving throw to stop falling and flying, please. Well, that's really useful, especially if you're like, you know, it's basically almost a free feather fall. Essentially, it's a free feather fall because it's a DC 10 dex save, yeah? Especially if you're building a rogue, your dex is going to be high. And that's something you'll pass. easily, like 9 times out of 10. Silent Feathers, you have proficiency in the stealth skill. So yeah, this is obviously very much I think they'd make really good rogues. I mean, you get stealth for free, which is good for a rogue, so it means you don't have to waste one of your ability choices taking stealth. I mean, I like that. They seem like a really fun race. And last but not least, the Rabbit Folk. Bounding across the wilds, Rabbit Folk from the Feywild embody a spirit of freedom and travel. Rabbit Folk are bipedal with the characteristic long feet of the animal they resemble and fur in a variety of colours. They share the keen senses and powerful legs of leporine creatures and are full of energy like wound up spring. I assume leporine means like obviously something similar to a rabbit. Rabbit folk are blessed with a little fey luck, and they often find themselves a few fortunate feet away from danger during adventures. So, humanoid again. Medium or small, there it goes again. I like that. I like that choice. So I do. Speed 30 feet. You add your proficiency bonus to your initiative rolls. That is cool. I like that. You gain proficiency with perception, lucky footwork. When you fail a dex saving throw, you can use your reaction to roll a d4 and add it to a result, potentially turning the failure into success. That is very, very good. Like, really good. And once during each of your turns, when you walk at least 5 feet, you can hop. Rolling a d12 and moving that many feet in the direction of your choice. The extra distance doesn't cost movement, but you can only hop if your speed isn't 0. Okay, so let's do 1 sec. Right? So I don't know why it's a d12, because it moves in chunks. Right? So let's say you got 30 feet of movement, right? So we'd say a d12 we'll work with a 10, because a 10 would be 2 squares. You move 5 feet, jump 10, so that's 15, but that doesn't count. So if you're moving 15 feet for every 5 feet of movement, 15 times 6, so what's that, 6 times 1, 6, 6 times 5, 30, so is that 90 feet of movement essentially? Like, that could work out, I think, to 90 feet of movement. What the fuck? I'm very happy with all this. I'm very, very happy with all this. The only one that didn't really make me go, ooh, that's really cool, is the fairy, because it just kind of seemed like, oh, we gave something a flying speed and some magic. No, nothing exceptionally new. Bar the Fey passage, squeeze through a space and narrows 1 inch. I mean, bar that, like, I feel like they didn't really get much. Whereas Hobgoblin's got that Fey gift and the fortune from the many. Those abilities are amazing. Like, they're so good. I know they're on resource, but like, between the two of them, like, you're talking like most players get to at least level 5, which makes your efficiency 3, which means you can use that help action thing 3 times. You could use it 3 times per long rest, which is amazing. And then the Fortune of Many, once again, 3 times per long rest. I mean, I think the Hobgoblin is the clear best coming out of this, in my opinion. I would say closely followed by, not closely, the Rabbit Folk is good. So they are. I can imagine oh my god, imagine the Rabbit Folk being frickin' monk. They could run all over the world. Oh, I want to be a rabbit monk now. I want to be a rabbit monk. The Elf Folk I think would just make cool rogues. I think they'd be very cool rogues. And the fairies can be whatever, to be honest. I mean, that's a really cool Unearthed Arcana. I would honestly, I can see them nerfing the Fey gift and the fortune from the many. I can see that happening. And the rabbit hop might get nerfed. But I suppose it's a d12, so you might only get a 1. So that doesn't really bode too well. But the lucky footwork, the extra d4 to dex saves is amazing. You know, proficiency bonus to your initiatives. Rabbit folk are so good. You know, so you got, the way I see it is like fairy is very much a general. That could be any class. I mean, any of these could be any class, but fairy's definitely a like general class, kind of leaning maybe a bit towards druid. Hobgoblins could be anything. hobgoblins are so versatile with that help action thing, because there's no restriction on the distance of the help action thing at all. The fortune menu, you have to be within 30 feet of people, but I mean, when aren't you within 30 feet of your team? So they can be any. Elfolk are just from reading, are really good rogues, really good rogues with that nimble flight, silent feathers, in my opinion. Now, I mean, there can be more, obviously. They could be like wizards and stuff like that, or I mean, they could be any class really, because they get that little bit of stealth, which helps everyone. But yeah, and the magic, so that's good. And rabbit folk, I mean, I just see monk with that rabbit hop. I just see monk there. I mean, yeah, you can be anything else, but I'm just seeing that as monk, which is interesting. So it's cool to see that this is the direction they're going. They're going to lean towards more races. Obviously, I think I'd prefer more subclasses than races, but I'm never going to say no to new races. So it's interesting to see that's they're going. Maybe they must be going in the Feywild direction then, like they did with all the Ravenlocks and the Gothic lineages. So, I mean, more content. I'm happy from Wizards of the Coast. This seems very good, very positive. I don't see these races as negative at all. I don't see any of them being overtly bad. Do you know? I see all of them as actually all being good races. Yes, some more powerful than others, but all around are all seem fairly good. Hobgoblin might be a little bit more powerful, but I suppose put it as a resource, whereas the rest of them are just innate abilities they can do infinitely. Might be the balance of it. I'll have to see, maybe play test it if I can. But yeah, guys, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like and comment down below any cool character builds you could come up with the rabbit folk, the elf folk, the hobgoblins, or the fairies. I'd be interested to see if there's any extremely broken combinations. The one I can think of is the rabbit hop with a monk's speed. That's the only one I can think of, because imagine like dashing as a monk, and for every 5 feet you move, you actually move 15. I mean, that just makes monks like the speed of freaking sound. So who knows? But yeah, guys, let me know down below if there's any other extremely broken combinations here that I just didn't think of in the moment. And please hit that subscribe button. There is more D&D content to come. There will be a new video next week, I promise. Most likely a campaign critic. And until then, guys, I shall catch you all in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.